I'm Tara Monster, and I like to make things. Today's video is going to be a little different because I want to talk about self-care and how I started my handmade business. So I was up last night until about 2 a.m. trying to edit your video for today. And I realized that wasn't worth it, and it would be better for me to just come on and be real with you. So I knew when I started this YouTube challenge, posting a video every single day would be difficult. And I am going away for the weekend. I'm going camping. It will be the first time I have left my house in several months for a trip. So I wanted to pre-record a bunch of videos so I could share them while I was gone. And I am still hoping to get that finished by today, but sometimes you need to know your limits. And now I would like to share with you why I started my handmade business. Art saved my life. When I was younger, I had a very hard time growing up, very poor. I left home at 16 and I was homeless. I had a drug addiction for about 6 years, and it ended me in the hospital from a drug overdose. I almost died, and after that, I actually really felt like there was a reason why I was here. Living through that near-death experience really changed my perspective, and I had always kept a sketchbook with me and drawn things here and there. And while I was in the hospital, I was drawing quite a bit, and while I was recovering. And some of my family who came to visit me said that they really liked the drawings. And I was like, wow, really? Maybe I should pursue this. And I was still in high school at the time. I was able to live with a high school friend of mine for a few months until I got back on my feet and was able to get an apartment of my own. And all the while I just kept drawing, but I had a purpose, and I wanted to take art classes, and I started doing that. And next thing I knew, I was going to community college for graphic design. I was able to get some scholarships and grants and things like that. I also was working 2 to 3 jobs all through high school and college in order to support myself. I would do several part-time jobs to get around the child labor laws at the time. But that's how I did it. And I went to community college for a couple years, still kind of struggling with my addiction. But as soon as I got accepted into the University of Washington, I moved to Seattle and cut off ties with all of my old user friends. And that was how I was able to stay sober and focus on my education, because I knew that going to college was the only way out of the situation I was in. And it worked. I went to the UW for about a year in their graphic design program. It is extremely competitive. They do it differently now, but back then they would let in 150 students, and over the course of a year, they would cut it down to 25. I made it all the way up until the final cut, and then I didn't make the final cut. So that was pretty devastating, but after that setback, I took my portfolio over to Cornish College of the Arts, where I was accepted into their design program. And I got my bachelor's degree in art for graphic design from there. I actually started Revival Inc. as my senior thesis project in college, and I just loved it. In fact, it's been 13 years now that I have been running my handmade business. This shirt is one of the first shirts I ever made. I love it and I still wear it all the time. It is like 12 years old. And so I'm just hoping that maybe my story will inspire others. Once I got out of college, I got a graphic design job at a big firm within about 2 weeks and worked there for about a year. I loved it, but I also loved my business, and I freelanced for them, and they wanted to give me a salary, full-time position, benefits, the whole deal. And I had a very important choice to make. I had to choose between pursuing my dream with my business and going the safe route and taking this graphic design job. And I think you all know which option I chose, or I wouldn't be here right now. I chose to pursue my dream, and it's been ups and downs, but overall, I consider myself so very lucky to be able to do what I love for a living, especially after all these years. So I just wanted to share that little story with you guys. My next video, I will be showing off some of my old illustrations up until my new illustrations and talking about how I do my illustration process for my designs. So I hope you'll join me for that. And if you like this video, be sure to click the like button and subscribe to my channel, and I will see you again tomorrow.